Welcome in. Welcome in, everyone. Say hello in the chat. Say where you're from. Welcome 10 visitors in. This is just a chill stream celebrating my first month home. While my dog is in panic mode because there's a storm going through, so hopefully the music soothes the savage beast. She does not like thunder. Finally found some music I could play without getting pinged. A large part of my punk rock did not get pinged, but every so often there'd be a song or two in there that was like, nope, copyright. Gotta respect the rules, right? But I appreciate all of you who have hopped in to come check out my little corner of the world. I live in Chicago, well, suburban of Chicago, but Chicago metropolitan area. If you hear a boom outside of my window, it's thunder, not gunshots. If you'd like, you can hop in chat, start a conversation, as long as it's not politics or religion. I got this cool light off of Amazon, which is the atmosphere that you guys are seeing. You dropped something, man. Hi. Today was pretty funny. I put out 2 shorts. I finally got my Suicidal Tendencies hat back that I plan on taking with me to Riot Fest because I need to get Gwar blood on it again. And I have a shirt and a hoodie. I didn't wear the hoodie today, but I did a short with the Suicidal Tendencies song that they're known for. And I think I got like maybe 20 views. I put up a funny video of my dog meeting another Chihuahua like her to a Pixies song, and it's got over 1,000 views. So the people have spoken. You love my dog. I'm okay with it. I love her too. Right, ma'am? You work hard for your views. And you don't have to work that hard. You're just a cute little puppo. People love puppos. Turn down the sound a little bit. Welcome in. Just a chill stream. Listening to YouTube appropriate music. With cool atmosphere, nebula and the stars. Looks a lot cooler if I could play Tool music, but unfortunately there's copyright laws there. But if you guys subscribe, going to be front row to Tool in September. I'm very excited about Riot Fest this year. I have to say, Tool's probably one of the bigger bands they've actually gotten throughout the years. They've had some pretty big bands, but I welcome in any newcomers. Thank you for stopping by, checking out the tunes and the great atmosphere. Ooh, that's not good. Welcome in to Batman's channel. Tonight we're just doing a casual live with music and great atmosphere. Hop in chat, start a conversation. What kind of music do you guys like? Hope the people that are here are enjoying this. Again, welcome into the Batman channel. Hope you guys are enjoying the YouTube-friendly music and the atmosphere. If anyone cares to hop into chat and start a conversation about music, movies, feel free. Pardon me. Anyone in here like going to concerts? If so, what concerts are you going to go see this summer? We have a couple of big concerts that happen here in Chicago. We have Lollapalooza. We have Riot Fest. And then, of course, the other bands that come and go throughout the summer at the Metro, the Riv, Aragon Ballroom, Salt Shed, and our outside venues. Welcome in. This is the Batman channel. Sitting here listening to YouTube friendly tubes with a great atmosphere. Hop in, say hi. Again, welcome in to the Batman channel. Just sitting here listening to some cool YouTube friendly music and setting the atmosphere with nebulas and stars. Rather be out watching the watchers, but with storms, kind of makes that impossible. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hope you enjoyed the music and the atmosphere. Rosie Things! Did Chris tell you I was live again? Took me 20 minutes to finally get a subscriber to chime in. I'm having an off day, Rosie. Well, I'm happy that I made you happy. I know I hate getting up when I'm sleeping. Yeah, I have to do that every so often myself, my dear. But at least I gave you a reason to be happy about waking up. I appreciate you dropping in. Wait till you see the short I made of Cardi. There's another dog here that's just like her. We had a chi meeting this afternoon. And they're both blonde. The irony is not lost. So at least you have nice music. Yeah, I did a live doing my job. Pretty much the whole thing. And unfortunately, at the end of that, I was excited because I thought I didn't have to go into a room. Man, I should have stayed live because I had another 2.5 hours on one room alone. The person left it a horrible mess. A horrible mess. But I made it sparkle. It looks I don't know if somebody's in it now, but it looked absolutely beautiful when I walked out. I was quite pleased with myself. You know how you saw in the cartoons when something was clean and things were pinging? I'm a maid at a hotel. I make other people's beds. I put fresh linens. I clean the room before it's rented again. Fairly decent job. It's definitely a lot more strenuous than working at the bar. I want to work at the bar, but I'm waiting for my friends to get back to me to let me know the good bars to go to, because one of the bars that I brought up to two of my friends are like, no, don't go there. And I'm like, why? Is it that bad? And they're like, we would be worried about your safety. So it's good to have friends in the field that can direct you to the right bars. And one of these people, his name's just Golden, if you know him. So if you got him as a reference, you're pretty much in. A hotel maid. Or motel, hotel. No, I think it's hotel. Hotel. Motels are different. So I got it like 3 days after I moved here. So I've been working pretty much the whole time I've been here. But today I had to take off because I had to go. I'm so mad at myself. I don't know where I lost my stupid Social Security card. I've had that thing since I was like 14. I never lose it. I don't know how I lost it, so I had to go and get a new one. It's going to take like 1 to 2 weeks. Yes and no. People think because I wear the shirt for here, like if I'm by the front desk, they think I can do front desk things. Like they get locked out of the room and they need a key. I don't know how to do stuff like that. I don't work the back of the office. And then sometimes you have people that see you and they're like, oh, can I please have this, that, or the other thing? And if I have it, we're not supposed to. We're supposed to tell them to go down to the front desk. But if it's just like a couple of washcloths or a bar of soap or something like that, or some toilet paper, I don't mind giving it to them. So, yes and no. I mean, for the most part, the customers that stay here are pretty nice. I mean, you have a few that are having a day. What's crazy, and I want to tell you this, Rosie, especially with you traveling. So, you know how there's different websites like Booking.com and Orbitz and all those other sites that claim to Zhivago, I think is another one. Um, so they'll put up a room and they'll let 50 people rent it out. Okay? Now, the hotel could only have like 2 or 3 rooms left, and they put 50 people on one room. So it basically turns into whoever comes first gets it. Even though you have a reservation does not necessarily get you a room here because you're not going through the personal hotel's website. If you go through the hotel's website, it's guaranteed. But check-in time is like around 3, and some people like to try and check in around 6, 7, or 8. The lady at the front desk is like, if they call me and tell me they're running late, I'll hold the room for them and make sure that they're secure in that room. So it's it's weird to me that a booking agency that claims to give you lower rates would do that. So then they end up having to find that person who didn't get the room accommodations and hope that they could find it at the rate that they got paid for, because every hotel has different rates. Yeah, I could see that too, Rosie. You know, they want to make their money. They want to make their money. I just think that that's bogus, because you got people sometimes coming, like we just had 4th of July. So you have people coming from out of town thinking they're guaranteed to have a room. They get off the plane, they take the Uber to the hotel that they booked at, and then they're told, I'm sorry, they overbooked that room and it's already taken by somebody else. You know, I would be pissed off. I don't know how they can get away with that. It's just crazy. So I've been home officially now for a month, Rosie. So far, it's the best summer I've had in a very long time. I've gotten to see a lot of faces of friends I haven't seen in the couple of years that I was up north. I saw very minimal of friends back home, but that was only because my friends would have a show, and all our friends usually come out for their shows if they're not in the band or working for the band. So I didn't get to see a lot of faces. I'm still trying to catch one person. I'm hoping to catch them tomorrow, and now that I have better intel that they leave at a certain time, because there's only an appropriate time to walk into a bar, and it's not 6 o'clock in the evening, because then you're being picked up off the floor before midnight. Oh my gosh. I've gotten so... My body piercer. She was the one who surprised me the most, because she's just my body piercer. When I saw her to fix my Monroe shortly after I got here, She was so stupid excited to see me, but we have great conversations. She's a really nice person. I totally could see us hanging outside of the body piercing situation because we are bonded together with one band. So, yeah, it's nice to be back home, Rosie. I have eaten so many good things. Remember how much I used to complain about food from back home that I missed? There's some places I probably already hit 2 or 3 times. But some of these places I've been frequenting for years, like this one place it's technically a beef stand, but it's owned by Greeks, and they have Greek menu. Oh my God, the spinach pie is so flippin' good, and they always give you a couple of pieces of feta. They will not tell me where they get their feta. It is amazing feta, and I've been going there for years, so I know the family that owns it. And it's good to see them again and catch up and see dad and the son and the daughter is on baby number 2. I've missed baby number 1. She was showing me all kinds of pictures of her beautiful daughter. I always wanted a girl, but I'm happy with the boys that I had. Spirit in the Sky. It was decent. It was annoying, but it was decent. I had to go to Social Security today. I had to replace my lost Social Security card. I don't even know how that happened. Man. Are you talking because you hear Auntie Rosie? Tell Auntie Rosie it's storming outside and you don't like the boom booms. How was your day today, Spirit in the Sky? Hopefully it was well. I'm happy to have people in the chat because for 20 minutes it was people hopping in and out. Oh my God, I have a friend here who usually goes to Greece twice a year, and he brings me back olive oil and feta cheese. His wife's, I don't even want to butcher the Greek way to say it, but his wife's spinach pie next to this place, Nikki's, hers is top. Hey, are you Yeti? Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the comments on the stuff that I've been posting, either on my community posts or my shorts. No, I lost my Social Security card, so I have to replace it. I've had that card since I was 14 years old. I'm so mad at myself for losing it. And I don't think you can change any of the numbers on your Social Security card. The only thing you can change is your name. And marriage is when you take dating way too far. You're welcome. Spanakopita? Pita? Yeah, I'm only going to butcher it. All I know is it's one of my favorite Greek things to eat. And if I can get it homemade, even better. This place, Greek potatoes, even if I get a sandwich, I always get their Greek potatoes over their French fries. They're Greek potatoes, I can't even explain them. They're so good. And then they make my absolute favorite soup. They don't add the lemon to it, but they make the cream of chicken and rice. And oh my dear Lord. The last time I ordered some, I ordered 2 quarts because it's been so long since I had it. What's scary? Spoony Copita. Okay, thank you. That helps a little bit. Yeah, that stuff is utterly amazing. And if you could get lemon and rice soup, oh, that stuff's really good. The chicken's great. Spawn bee. Yeah, I love gyros too. And it was messing me up north. I was talking to the son at the first time I walked in there. And he goes, I haven't seen you in a while. And I'm like, yeah, I was living up north. I don't recommend it to anyone. He goes, so I got to ask you, is there a place like us out there? And I said, not at all. I told him about the nightmare situation of I thought I ordered, when I go into Nikki's, I don't just get a gyro sandwich. I get the gyro plate where there's enough for like 2 or 3 sandwiches. They give you 2 pitas. They give you the onions and the tzatziki. And then they give you like a little bit of salad with a couple of pieces of feta, like 4 of the Kalamata olives. That's what I'm used to, right? So this place made it like a bowl. And they cut the pita in quarters, and the pita wasn't even thrown onto the griddle and warmed. It was horrible. And he was just laughing. He goes, well, we're happy to be back in your life. And I'm like, yes, so am I. Oh, yeah. I never have to worry about identity theft, spirit in the sky. They're going to take a look at my bank account and be like, yeah, no, we need to give her money. Sorry, we're talking about a couple of different things. That's why I asked what was scary. So, yeah. I am so happy to be back home around things that I know. I've tested out the scooter a little bit in distance and where I can go. I can go a lot further out here than when I was up north, because there was this town after me called Cary, and there's a certain spot where the end of Cary turns into basically like highway, and there's no sidewalk. So going into Crystal Lake would have been totally sketchy at best. So at least here, I can go as far as probably Aurora if I really wanted to, depending on how far the scooter could go. And that's a pretty good distance from where I'm at. And if any of you Gen Xers are in chat, yes, Aurora mentioned in Wayne's World. Which short, Spirit in the Sky? Because I was telling Rosie earlier that apparently I'm slacking because my personal short with the suicidal tendencies, shirt and hat that I had on, that only did, I think, 20 views. The one that I did with Cardi and the Pixies already hit over 1,000. I was laughing. I told her, I was like, girl, you got a lot of views today. I'm proud of you. We are a great breed, are you, Yeti? It's funny, I watch these videos about the millennials and the zennials making fun of us, and wow. I was telling my friend recently that I'm glad I grew up in the Gen X era with all those gorgeous fucking men. Because now, if I was a young woman in the dating scene, no way, shape, or form. Half these guys look like they fell out of bed wearing their pajamas to bars talking about Pokemon. I can't fucking even. The one where he was asking me if I was okay. He was so annoyed. He was so annoyed. I don't know if you saw my post about the cop card I found in the girls' bathroom at the bar. The fact that my friend Duper Trooper knew who he was pretty fucking amazing. I love how they ask, are you doing all right? That happened to me a long time ago when I was living here, and I want to say it was like 2022. So my pay would get put in after midnight. And even though I had 2 gas stations right at the end of my block, they were closed, so I couldn't get smokes there. So I'd have to go more into town to the gas station over there. So one day I did that, and the cop fucking comes around, rolls down his window and goes, are you doing all right tonight? And I'm like, yeah, are you? And he's like, I'm just checking in on you. And I'm like, I'm a paying customer waiting for an Uber if that's okay. Yeah, like I said, I was just checking, making sure you were all right. Did I look in distress to you? Yeah, I hate that line. Are you okay? Is anybody really fucking okay? I still don't know what the situation was there, Spirit in the Sky, because it was young kids. It wasn't anybody from the bar that I was at. They end up getting in an Uber, going home, and they ended up towing the vehicle. So I don't know what the heck that was about. Oh, he could ask all he wants. I don't have to provide it. I'm not committing a crime by pointing the camera and watching him. So you wouldn't get far with that question. And I'm completely warrantless free. I have nothing to worry about. But unless I'm committing a crime, you don't need to see who I am. I'm Jane Doe. I identify as invisible. My pronouns are who and where. The town that I'm in right now, they already know who I am, so. And again, not because I've committed a bunch of crimes, because I pointed cameras at these people. But they do some dastardly shit. Like one day, at my job, the girl was getting ready to go home. She's in her car. An unmarked car was parked right here. She's parked right here in her parking spot. He was not in a parking spot. So he watched her as she slowly edged her way so she wouldn't hit him. And as soon as she was getting ready to turn and go around the corner to leave to go home, this motherfucker pulls out in front of her. Right in front of her. He watched her struggle to get out of that fucking spot for like 5 fucking minutes. I don't think it was a DUI because nobody got arrested. All the kids got to get into an Uber and go home. So I don't know what transpired there. Maybe they had a breakdown and the car was being towed to, I don't know. Because it's a pretty affluent area, so I don't think it was a repo situation. I don't know. And seeing as the cop who was asking me if I was all right, he wasn't willing to tell me what was going on either. So. My hat did come early. I'm very excited about it. I was heartbroken when that hat was stolen last year at Riot Fest. So this year it's staying in the bag until GWAR. Once GWAR hits the stage, I'm going to be front row getting that thing covered in blood. I'm going to look not so phenomenal after that, but price you pay for being close to GWAR. Oh my God, some of the things I've seen, Rosie. When I lived closer to the inner city, when the cops didn't want to deal with the red stoplight that they had, they'd flip on their lights so they could bypass it. But yet we do shit like that. We get tickets, there's cameras, there's no flock cameras that catch shit. No, it was on my backpack. And I had it on my back instead of in front of me. And I think somebody from behind me just ripped it off. I didn't notice because I was having way too much fun in that crowd. And yeah, it sucked. But that did happen to my friend quite a few years back. He was in a crowd for the band Descendants. And he had this great fucking get-up he got in 2020 that was a one and done. And they ripped the hat right off his head. I have been looking for that hat for 4 years now, hoping somebody would throw it up on Mercari or Poshmark or whatever, eBay. Yikes. And now it's legal here. I don't know if it's legal by you, but it's been legal here since 2020. I guess they needed something to soften the blow that we were going to be locked in our homes for a year. Well, that's how my last hat was. My last Suicidal Tendencies hat had GWAR blood on it. If you've never heard of the band GWAR, look at them live and stuff that they do. It's redonkulous. You're in Kansas? One of my very good friends lives out there in Missouri. But they're in Springfield. Yeah, I used to deal a lot of weed before it became legal. So, the fact that it's legal now would have eliminated my position in life. But that comes with a lot of scary shit with having cops kicking in your door and all kinds of bullshit that lawyers... Awesome. I saw them for the... Oh my God, I can't... the album that How Will I Laugh Tomorrow, it wasn't for the institutionalized era. But I got to see them for that. Here in Chicago at Rosemont Horizon, that... I don't think it's Rosemont Horizon anymore. It's still there, but it's called something different. And I don't remember who they played with. It could have been Metallica. But it wasn't 94. It was like 90, maybe 91. I don't remember when How Will I Laugh Tomorrow came out. Yeah, I saw that shit. I saw that shit, Rosie. And now he can't use his Qatar given Boeing because of security. So he has to go back to the old Air Force One. I love Candlebox too. They're so underrated. It's sad that they will always be known for the song You, because that album was just a great fucking album. I was laughing today how many years it's been since Bex blessed us with his presence. 30 years for Odelay. 30 years have gone by. And he's done crazy stuff throughout those 30 years. Yeah, when it comes to Metallica, I used to be a fan. I will say I was a fan when Clint Burton was there. After that, pro Megadeth. Beck is totally awesome. If you haven't seen that man live, go and look at my archives. And I've gotten to witness him live. He is such an amazing performer. And it's funny how it all started with a song called Loser. Every album was different than the last album. He always changed it up. Lay down. That's what I kind of hate now about instant gratification of music. I, like you, Are You Yeti, since you said yay to Gen X, am used to having a cassette tape in my hand, reading the inlays, getting LPs, getting CDs eventually, and listening to the whole album. Now it's just, okay, this song's out, that song's out. It's sometimes thrown on YouTube. Like right now, Social Distortion released a couple of days ago a new song. You know, it's not somebody sitting there listening to a whole album and just liking, okay, I like this song or I don't like this song. I've lost count how many things I've listened to from beginning to end. But now, kids don't know how to do that. They just type in the artist's name, type in the song that they like, and they're there. Yep. And never knowing what you were going to get. Yep. On Sundays, we used to have a channel called VVX that would just play metals for 3 straight hours. And it was the only heavy metal playing Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, Testament, bands like that. So yeah, sometimes I would fall asleep. So you only get, if at best you were lucky that you got an hour and 20 minutes. I want to say, and that was later on. So it was usually like maybe an hour per cassette tape. So you only had 30 minutes on one side, then you had to stop, flip it over, and hit record again. Yeah, some things these youngins will never understand or utilize in their life. Hell, does the younger generation even know what radios are and listen to radios anymore? You have so many choices like Spotify, Pandora's Box, or Pandora. Whole other thing, Pandora's Box. We're not opening it. But yeah, there's very few rock stations that are left here in Chicago. They brought back one that used to be in the 90s called Q101, and it was supposed to be just alternative music. But now they play like pop songs and a different variation. So it's not the same. We had a radio station for years called The Loop because of downtown Chicago. That's gone. There's this college station in Naperville. I don't know who's running it now. But they used to have, I think it was like Friday or Saturday night, they would have metal night. And it was a pretty cool little radio station for a college radio station. Oh my goodness, bless Chris's heart. Yeah, there's so many different albums that had such beautiful artwork. There's a lot of the 80s that even though I could definitely get my punk or metal card pulled, I enjoyed. I was just listening to Hall & Oates today, Out of Touch. So, yeah, you don't get very much artwork in music anymore with people not buying hard copies of it. That's why I love Tool. But I also hate the price of some of the things that Tool sells. When you go to a Tool concert, there's always a poster dedicated to your city that you're seeing the show in. And Alex Grey is usually predominantly the main person who does artwork for them. But they have been known to hire out other artists. Like my next tattoo, which is going to be a half sleeve, was for the 2/2/22 show in San Antonio, Texas. What an awesome piece of artwork that they hired just some random Tool fan. He got a message from Adam Jones asking if he would make a thing for one of their posters. They never specified when it was going to be for, but he got the 2/22/22. So if you get them unsigned, they're about $150. If you get it signed, it's $350. One of my friends has some of the most amazing pictures from each show that they've gone to. So, yeah, unfortunately not much artwork and creativity on that end anymore, Spirit in the Sky, because there has been some awesome album stuff throughout the years. Look at how many people who are Rolling Stones fans still tattoo the lips on them. It's logos like that. Boy George, I wish it was really you. Because I'll tumble for ya, I'll tumble for ya. I really won't, but I love Boy George. I don't even care. Culture Club was flippin' awesome in the 80s. I know, I was just messing around because we were talking about 80s music. So what's up, Boy Gage? We're talking about music. What kind of music are you into? I couldn't agree more. There was some great music out of the 80s. That's why I used to laugh. So I wasn't into the Debbie Gibson and Tiffany and New Kids on the Block like most of the kids around my age at that point in time. I was into beginning industrial music like Al Jorgensen, Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer. I wasn't a huge Motley Crue fan. I never really liked those guys. I didn't like the hair band situation. It was too tame for me and weird that guys were doing their hair like us and putting on makeup. I didn't need that kind of competition as a tomboy. But I remember so many kids coming up to me. Oh, you can't even understand what they're saying in Slayer. And how long do you think they're going to last? Well, 40 years. 40 fucking years they went hardcore, screaming like that. Where's New Kids on the Block touring smaller venues and casinos? Yeah. I can't even remember the last time I heard of somebody saying they were going to a Debbie Gibson show. So, but there was some great stuff out there. I don't think my mom knew what she was doing when she finally allowed cable in the house and me access to MTV. That's cool. My first cassette. You're going to laugh, are you, Yeti? Because I actually still have it. Well, one of them is my Nine Inch Nails Pretty Hate Machine. I bought that on October 18th, 1989 in a music store called Musicland. I've lost the cassette holder and the inlay, but I still have that tape. Oh my God, Falco Rock Me Amadeus. That was a great song. I remember sitting on the floor with my girlfriend Katrina. She had just bought Twisted Sister with Dee Schneider with the bone, and we just thought we were such badasses. Billy Idol. That man's still around. You have a good night too, Boy Gage. I love the movie The Wedding Singer because he's part of that at the very end. He still looks the same. A little bit older, but he still looks the same. Thanks for stopping by, Boy Gage. Sorry, I almost did it again, sweetheart. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good night. There's a lot of great movies in the 80s, too. And 90s. And it's so funny how far stuff has progressed. I was mad on the 4th of July. I like watching Independence Day because that was a huge movie, and I believe it was released on July 4th. I can't remember. But I like watching that movie. I love Randy Quaid in it. It's a funny movie at certain points. It was on in June, and July 4th I went to go and find it, and I had to end up renting the damn movie because nothing was playing it for free. How are you not going to put out Independence Day in July for free, at least on Amazon Prime? 420, what up? Thank you for telling everybody to hit the thumbs up and share the stream. What are you up to tonight, 420? Are you in air cooled out? We're storming over here, so it kind of dampens the situation of even going out because there's not much going on. In the city, there's tons of shit going on, but out here, not so much. But I'm only like maybe, at best, 20-25 minutes from city limits. They don't care. Rain or shine, they're just corrupt motherfuckers. And there's so much more of them. The towns outside of Chicago, not so much. Welcome in. Ha! We're doing the same, 420. I like the way you think. one of my subscribers reached out to me and told me they thought it was cool that I do this and was offering me some more lighting, but they're Christmas lights, and I think this is good enough. I was kind of hoping this was like the other one my nephew had, because you could pick the scenery, but the nebula and the stars are still pretty cool. And the fact that I found some YouTube-friendly music that I won't get pinged for playing. Yeah, it's good. The other one, it's kind of cooler. It shows like the moon and planets and stuff like that. But you have to, it's like, you remember viewfinders where you had those glasses you put in front of your face and click the pictures? It was kind of like that. Each scene you had to take something out and put something in. This just does it on its own. And there's a remote here. I got a remote over here and I can change the settings on it, how bright they go. Oop, I guess I gotta be pointing at it. I don't even know what it does. It's got a whole bunch of buttons on there. I'm totally confused, but I can turn it on and off with a remote. You gotta keep it simple, stupid for stoners. We only pay attention half the time. I'm more of a visual type of person. So sometimes I need to be shown how to work them. And it's kind of funny because there was a customer today who stops and talks to me if I'm outside having a cigarette. Nice lady. And she's like, are you knowledgeable on updates on your phone? And I'm like, yeah, but usually they do them on their own. She goes, well, this one didn't. And she didn't explain that it was an app. So all I had to do was go to the Play Store, go to the app that she needed to update and hit update on it, and it was done. She's like, are you kidding me? It was that simple? And I'm like, don't think I'm a genius. I had to have my kids show me how to use these types of phones. I was like, when I was dragged in to the cell phone situation, kicking and screaming to the 21st century, it helped that I had kids at the time. I just can't. I have a laptop, and man, I have messed with my phone so much that I'm way better on my phone than I am on a computer. There's times where if I have to do something on my laptop, I hit the screen like I do my phone, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not on my phone. I think some newer computers do, but my computer does not. That's okay. I have a friend who their kids are animals. And that's cool too. Some people just are like, eh. And there's nothing wrong with that. I had this one girlfriend from a very young age begging the doctor to give her a hysterectomy or a partial or something so she couldn't have kids because she didn't want kids. She had a horrible upbringing, and she was like, I don't think I would be in any way, shape, or form a good candidate to be raising children. And the doctor fought with her and fought with her and fought with her because he kept on telling her she was so young and making such a drastic decision. But it was her choice to make. Eventually, she ended up having to have it because she developed lupus. And oh my God, she was such a beautiful girl. Such a beautiful girl. And once they diagnosed her with lupus, everything just went downhill for her. She was losing hair, and It was horrible. Nice catch. I'm impressed. I had them very young, and I'm glad that I did because my girlfriend who I stayed with for the last couple of years, she's in her late 40s and has 2 children under 5. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. I love my niece and nephew, but I couldn't imagine. Couldn't imagine. No. She is a Chihuahua, but she thinks she's a pit bull. Right, Cardi? She is an 8-pound blonde Chihuahua. If you've ever seen the Yoketo Taco Bell commercial, she looks like that dog. And when I say I couldn't imagine having kids in my 40s, it's not that I wouldn't want them, but at this point, yeah, no, I couldn't do it. I'm glad I was young when I had mine because I was able to play with them. They were both boys. I had 4 children, but 2 passed away. Yeah, I got to hang out with my kids and play with my kids and be with my kids when they had important moments in their life. My oldest, I still demand a recount because I don't know how I got so lucky to have such a smart kid. Way more smart than I could ever think I would be. So unfortunately, they grow up and they get their own lives, and that's where mom accumulated animals. Well, if you're a guy, you can have kids until you're well into your 90s, but the thought of having them, and like my girlfriend and her husband, my girlfriend doesn't really think about it, but her husband is put thought into the fact that when they get to certain ages, his age, and how he might not be able to do some of the things that he would have liked to have done if he had kids earlier. So I could see that. I was the later in life kid, and my mom had me in her late 30s. So I was also the child who put every gray hair on her head according to her. And that's probably factual. But she never had to pick me up from a police station. I just did stupid shit. Yes, Paparini. May I help you? It's not sleepy time yet. She's looking at me like, can we go night-nights? You can come here. I can say hi. Say hi. I see you. No more boom booms. I'm not hearing any more thunder, girl. I think you're safe. I think you survived. I think you survived. You too, Layla. So I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow because the manager texted me and told me we don't have very many checkouts tomorrow. So I go, okay, do I still need to come in? She goes, yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to start on each floor and knock at the door and see if people want the room cleaned. And I'm like, okay. So, I don't know. There's 3 of us, but we have 2 new applicants coming in tomorrow. So they're going to go with the lady who trained me. And they're going to turn around and see how they do and see how far they last. The last guy who came in and applied didn't make it very long. They were supposed to do 2 rooms because she took 2 of my rooms, and he ended up not even getting through the whole first room. So 1, 2, 3, Toyota gang, welcome in. So I guess me and Dude are going to probably do 1 of 2 floors while she's training these 2 to see how they do. So we shall see how this goes, because it definitely will help having more help on days where we have something like 10 rooms each, because there's 30 rooms that need to be prepared for new tenants, new stayovers. I love the people who are, whatchamacallit, one-nighters, because they don't mess up the room, because there is a potential to stay at the hotel for 30 days. So there are people here who stay here on a consistency. Yeah, there's 3 floors. So it'll make it easier for me to go hardcore and go look for a bar job, because if I'm only working 2-3 days because there's more people, I just need to maintain and secure a roof over my head. I just happened to be lucky that when I moved here, they needed the help, because there was only 2 people for all those, if you can believe that, spirit in the sky. The girl looked at me and she's like, "You know how to clean?" And I'm like, "I used to work in cleaning service industry, and yeah, I'm kind of a neat freak." She's like, "Okay, come with me." So I went with her, and she trained me, and she gave me the good thumbs up, and I've been working ever since with her. And we don't work together. I mean, we work together, but we don't clean together. Sometimes if she gets done, she's nice enough to come and see if I need help, and I'll do the same for her. If I know she's still cleaning and it's past time, everybody else is done, I'll go and help her. So unfortunately, a couple of days ago when I showed you guys my job, I thought I was done, and I wasn't. Hi, Upstate. I thought I was done, and there was 1 more room that needed to be done, but I thought somebody was in there, but it was a move-out situation. They just left a lot of crap there. So she came to me originally and asked me if I needed any help, and I'm like, "No, I'm done, but this room has stuff in it." And then they both come back and tell me who the person that was in that room, and I knew that that person was already gone. I'm like, "Oh, so that needs to be taken out. Okay, I understand." So I went back and I did it, but she didn't stay to help me, but that's fine, because, I mean, I got it done. It took me 2.5 hours to do. There was a lot of garbage. I had to use the luggage cart to lug garbage out of that room. That's how much garbage they left behind. And then later on, I don't remember if it was, I don't think it was later on that day. I think it was the next day. The lady at the desk, she asked me if I found anything in there, and I'm like, "I found a cat turd." She's like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." She asked. I guess she was asking if I found anything good that was left in the room, and not at all. Not at all. And it was kind of funny because there was crap on the floor. And after I vacuumed, something told me, I'm going to need to move these beds, aren't I? That's where I found one of the cat turds, a whole roll of toilet paper, just garbage thrown under the bed. You have 2 garbage cans in your room to dispose of stuff. In each garbage can, we leave you 2 extra bags. So if you have a lot of garbage, you can throw a lot of garbage away. No. And then don't even get me started on the tub. The tub was just disgusting. I had to end up mixing bleach and water and letting it sit on there and hope and pray that worked. So there are some nightmare rooms that come into play. Boomer sooner, baby. I'm just waiting for one more month. One more month and football preseason starts. Yeah, just sloppy people. It's like, what? I think it was either last week or the week before. I'm still not sure if I cleaned up a crime scene. So I root for your football team because my girlfriend, when they're playing, she'll send. I'm more of a Packers fan. I'm a Sox fan for baseball. But I also cheer for the Giants in San Francisco. Yeah, I brought my own cleaning supply, Spirit in the Sky, so I could clean my own room. I've got a nice steam mop. I've got a nice handheld vacuum. Because with having the cat litter comes into play. I mean, she doesn't throw it all over the place, but when she hops out, little comes out, so. And every time I look at the floor and think it's not that dirty, I'll turn on my hand vac and it has a light and I see all the hair between her and the cat. They shed like champs. It's like an invisible carpet of fur. Pro football? Yeah, I'm a Packer backer. Which is very dangerous in my area upstate because that's a huge rivalry between the Chicago Bears. But who's to say if we're going to be calling them the Chicago Bears anymore because supposedly they're moving to Indiana. They bought this property in Arlington Heights, which used to be a horse track course for over 100 years. Huge property. And deals weren't put in place, so the Chicago Bears may be moving out of state. So that would put 2 Indiana teams because you got the Colts. Yeah, it's crazy. We'll see. The way it's looking, they're going to Indiana. They signed paperwork that Indiana's going to build them a huge, beautiful stadium, and they're going to get their tax breaks they were asking our state for. It's funny, my best friend's the one who taught me about sports in general. And he's a huge Bears fan. He's like, where did I go wrong with you? And being a Packers fan, he hates it. but yet he's married to a woman who is a Packers fan. So he's just surrounded. I told him one day he's going to come home, and me and the wife are going to be sitting there in our respective Packers jerseys with our cheese heads. He goes, and that's the day that I'm going to walk out and probably never come back home again. That's okay, Amy G. You're here. I appreciate your wonderful comments. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, he's just surrounded. When I talk about him or introduce him, I always introduce him as the brother I always wanted, and he introduces me as the sister he never wanted. That's weird. I don't know why notifications aren't going out. Who knows? Maybe I'm like partially banned because I film cops. I know that post with the officer's card probably really could have partially banned me. But that's okay. I wanted to point out to that officer if he was in there trying to pick up any of the girls in that bar that nobody thought about him that way. And if you can't make it home with a bar chick, there is something really clearly wrong with you. Even if I wasn't a cop watcher, because some friends of mine who are either have like a dad that was a cop or are married to them, they are some sketchy motherfuckers. There is no way in hell I would ever. That man could walk out looking like a young Mike Ness, and I'd still say no, boy. Too much weird shit fucking happens if you try to leave them. Oh, they'll come eventually, are you, Yeti? Sometimes, my friend Duper, most of the people in his chat are cops. Or trolls. Amy G in the house. So don't get too disappointed. They'll eventually come. It depends on whatever you put up there. Oh my God, when I was talking about Scam Higby, aka Cam Higby, fucking, I got all kinds of fucking trolls up in here. When I was showing up in certain chats, the trolls would find out my channel and then come into my live and start talking shit to me about ICE. Which is still going on here. Trolls help build the algorithm. I think so too. He's the first person that ever fucking answered a question I had been asking up till that point for almost 20 years. That's cool. Drunk softball is awesome. I have many friends who are on softball leagues. The bar that I go to, they're a huge team in our area. They always seem to win. Thank you for supporting my friend Duper Trooper. He is an amazing, awesome person in general. Oh, you don't want to see me, Amy. It is interesting. There are certain things I do more. Well, no, I do that sober too, so I can't really blame that on alcohol. Damn. Oops. But yeah, I'm sure I'm a little sloppy and slurring words. Especially depending on how many Malort shots I'm in. I'm very disappointed in the beer that I like drinking at my favorite bar. It went to can. And I guess I shouldn't bitch because it's a tall boy, like a PBR. But yeah, I don't like shit out of the can. So there's a couple of other alternatives that I could do. There's Corona. And then there's Lagunitas Little Something. I drink sometimes upstate. Last week, oh my God. I was seen in that bar way too many times last week. I'm way louder. That's what I'm told. My Chicago voice comes out. But I've never been like completely inebriated to where you can't understand me. There's this kid that comes into the bar. Nice kid in general. His name's Kyle. And the drunker he gets, you can't understand what he's saying. And I've nicknamed him Boomhauer from King of the Hill. And one night, one of my favorite bartenders, her name's Nikki. She's like, speak fucking English! Because he was so sloppy drunk she couldn't understand him. It was funny. Yeah, no, it's possible. My oldest were standing behind me. He'd tell you he could hear me 2 blocks over. I even scared one of my musician friends a couple of years ago. Because obviously, when I'm cheering for him, he's up on stage, so he doesn't know who exactly is making what noise. One time, he was standing next to me, and my friend Stubby was on stage, and I went at the top of my lungs, "Attaboy, Stubby!" But way louder. This guy turned and looked at me with his eyes bugging out of his head, like, did that just come out of you? About 5 minutes later, he was like 4 or 5 people away from me. I went and told my girlfriend who I was staying. I was like, I think I scared Dan. So yes, louder is very possible. That's where his gram always lived. We always lived 2 blocks away from her. So, yeah, he told me he could, and I think he was like 10 when he told me that. It's like, you know, Mom, you've got a loud voice. I can hear you 2 blocks over at Graham's house. I'm like, good, I must have done my job. My liver hates me when my friend from Missouri comes up for Riot Fest, because me and her drink way too much. But it's once a year, and this year she's not coming, so my liver's not going to hate me as much this year. But when I do Riot Fest, I got to look and see, because I feel like an asshole asking him. One of my friend's birthdays always used to coincide with Riot Fest, but Riot Fest moved the date, so I think his birthday is the weekend before, if it falls on the weekend. So at least I don't have to rush home to try and catch him on his birthday like I have in the past. I was thinking about going to the bar tonight because I want to catch my friend's kids. My friend passed away like about 4 years ago, and these poor kids. Their mom died when they were under 10. She had a heart attack at work, and that was it. And then Dad passed away when the older one, I think it was like a week or 2 after his 21st birthday. So now they have no parents. Riot Fest is in September. We even have an official Riot Fest day in Chicago. Last year, the mayor deemed September 21st. Do you remember the 21st day of September? Is Riot Fest Day here in Chicago. Yeah, it really is. I I lost my mom at a young age. Unfortunately, God left me my dad, which was no help whatsoever. But I couldn't imagine losing both parents so early in life. It was a trip that I had to go to both the respective mother who passed away and the father to the same funeral home, the same church, buried in the same spot, side by side. Kind of wild. And, you know, I mean, he didn't abuse drugs. He didn't really abuse alcohol. He was a light drinker. He just got really sick and he didn't recoup out of it. In fact, he was up for the first 2 days, and then the doctors told him that, you know, you're not getting much better. We think that maybe your best suggestion to you would be to put you in medical induced coma and let your body rest. And he agreed to it, and he never came out of it. So I'm just glad that I got to go and hold his hand and tell him how much he meant to me and that it was okay to go to his wife and that we'll all watch and protect the boys. So I kind of feel bad that I didn't go tonight, but it started storming and I figured why not have a great night with my friends on YouTube and do a night live. Because I used to do a lot of these, but when I moved in with my girlfriend, I couldn't. I had a 4-year-old sleeping next to me, so I didn't want to keep him up. Give me the Yeti. Give me the Yeti. Okay, lay down. Relax. What has the Yeti done to you? Uh-huh. Yeah, I have a girlfriend who lost her mom at like 9. So, you know, I bitch about losing mine at 18. I couldn't imagine losing my mom at 6 or 9. But it is awesome, too, to go and see old friends. I've gotten to catch up with quite a few of them. Everybody knows I'm back pretty much at this point. My poor girlfriend, Wendy, I got to go over by her. I've been home for a month and I've been going back and forth to catch people at the bar. She is not a bar person, and bless her heart, she, at least with my other girlfriend that I stayed with, I can understand her going to bed early because her day starts early and the kids get up early. She has 2 kids under 5, so they get up fairly early. Well, my other girlfriend, her kids are grown and she still goes to bed at 8 or 9, even in the summertime. I'm like, girl, I want to party still. So I got to figure out a time that I can get over by her and go and visit with her, even if it's just an afternoon of day drinking. At least she would have the appropriate beer in a bottle. But if I remember correctly, she might not be here right now. I think I saw a post of her being in Indiana. She goes there for vacation sometimes. She's got a girlfriend who's got amazing property. I mean, acres upon acres. They have guest houses, and it's ridiculous. So I think I was looking at pictures of her on social media today and liking her posts, and it seems like they're out there because it's not her house. She's got a nice house, but not that kind of a yard. I was going to take Cody. I was going to take Cardi to the park that I liked, but it was so hot and muggy. And even though her backpack has holes, I still think it gets hot in there. And I don't want to roast her to death and then expect her to walk around a park. So maybe tomorrow, depending on what the workload entails. Yeah, we just had some come through here. They were supposed to come through earlier and they never did. And then around 10 o'clock it started storming here. I don't know if you're considered Central Standard Time or Mountain Time, or I don't know where the lines eventually go. Because part of Indiana is Central Standard Time and the other part is, okay, so you're Central. Yeah, and then there's a spot like when you get up to Lafayette, that's considered Eastern Standard Time. It's like, how in part of a state does that change? I always thought Ohio was, but one of my friends wrote a great song called Central Standard Time. But good to know, because Spirit in the Sky is Eastern. Rosie Things is Eastern. Amy G is Pacific. And same with 420. Yo, you're back. We're not talking about 80s music anymore. But welcome back, boy Gage. Can I ask why you used the 4 as an A? Just out of curiosity, because I had some friends who had a death metal band called Figure Hate, and it was spelled with figure, but hate was spelled H-A with an 8. Just curious, that's why I asked. Oh, you didn't make the name? I was surprised that Batman was allowed, but I think it's because of the numbers that I put in there. Because when I originally did Batman, Batman was unusable. And I have had friends who have said that they can't find me because they'll type in Batman and then they'll get Batman content. And I'm like, no, you got to put in the numbers. That'll direct you exactly to me. And there's a lot of people that think I'm a guy because I go by Batman. But that's been an argument for many years. Before YouTube. I've always been asked, why don't I go by Batgirl because I'm a girl? And I'm like, because my mom told me when I grew up I could be whatever I wanted. So I decided to be a badass. I'm also a comic book nerd, so there is that. Right? It's not that I'm trying to achieve being a man, it's just that I think he's a badass. Right? Who wouldn't want to be? You want to be a banana? You do you, boo-boo. Everybody wants to be something. I once asked the doctor if he could give me Wolverine hands, and the doctor looked at me and said, "Did you really just ask me that?" Sure did. I mean, come on, who wouldn't want Wolverine hands? They could come in handy. If I was a chef, imagine how much I could chop in 1 second. Well, okay. Now I'm overboarding it, but like in a minute, imagine how much you could chop up. Well, thank you. I go to a lot of concerts. I follow cops. I do streams like this. And on occasion, you'll get to see little shorts of my dog. Right, ma'am? You get more views than mommy, and that's okay because you're cute and furry. Oh my God. He doesn't. He's still mad at that. He's like, why would you lie to me like that, Mom? And I'm like, why would you believe I was Batman? Yeah, she's the love of my life. I got her before 2020. I have a horrible childhood friend that keeps on calling me, asking me if I want something four-legged and cute. So far, I'm in a cat and a dog. My cat came first. She was here for 6 years, and then I brought home the dog. I was thinking about getting a fish, and then I'm like, I have too many things to feed plus myself. Why would she get him a cat then? Oh my Lord. I had achieved a cat before my cat, and that very reason. My ex-boyfriend's son really wanted a cat, and when I gave it to him, it was not acceptable. Whatever. So she gets a cat from one of her girlfriends, knowing full well her husband at the time and her daughter were highly allergic, and we acquired the cat. But Binky was amazing. Binky was like a dog. You could throw toys, and she would go and retrieve them and bring them back. Some people are just dog people, boy Gage. I've always had a cat and dog ever since I could remember, except for a long period when I was raising my kids. The dogs that we had were not kind to cats, so I couldn't have a cat for a while. People love animal videos, Yeti. Today I posted something about me getting a Suicidal Tendencies hat back that got stolen last year at Riot Fest. Maybe 20 views. I post a video of my dog meeting another dog that looks like her to a Pixie song. Over 1,000 views. People love animals. My mom hated snakes. I absolutely love snakes, spiders, lizards. My mom wouldn't go anywhere. When we would go to the zoo, she would avoid the reptile house. So people know what they like. You know, with my dog, I like that I always go out on walks with her, and sometimes we watch the sunset together or something. And I like in the wintertime that I don't have to take the cat out too, because, oh my God, it's freezing. But I hate dealing with the cat box. So, you know, there's ins and outs to whatever animal you choose to have. After Layla goes to the Rainbow Bridge, I don't know if I would necessarily get another cat. And it's not because I don't like them, but supposedly the dog can live to be about, I don't know, I think the vet said 20. I've never had a dog that could live that long. I've had bigger dogs and they live like 12, 13, maybe 14 years. If you're that lucky. And zebras are awesome. I like polar bears. I like sea lions. Specifically the sea lions on Pier 39 in San Francisco. Yeah. Little dogs, for some odd reason, can live very long lives, I guess. This is my first little dog. Yeah. When they get to be that old, they lose weight and they don't look as healthy. What kind of dog is it? My mother-in-law had a pug, and that dog was hilarious. Aww. One of the customers here has a dog like that. It's a little poodle, and it's got heart problems, and yeah, she shakes, she's blind. I hate going through that process. There's a dog that I worry about. One of these days I'm going to get a phone call and he's not going to be with us anymore because he's an old man. Joko, welcome in. How are things in your neck of the woods, Joko? I hope well. Did you enjoy your 4th of July? Most of our festivities got canceled because of storms. You're welcome. You said you subscribed, so I don't want you to be out of place like everybody else. Yes, hopefully you had a great celebration for your birthday. Yeah, right? Same here, Joko. We had the heat wave, the storms. It was kind of yuck out there today with the humidity. Ma'am, I've given you kitty food. The kitty says no. There. Oh my goodness, dog treats. What did I miss? What the hell? For 3 years? What, did they hack information or did they hack and take money out of the pension? I'd like to know more about that myself, Joko, because that's shady as hell. Ooh, excuse me. That was gross. Yeah, that's crazy. So tell us, what did you do for your birthday, Joko? Wow. You stayed home? Did you have friends come by? Wow, that's messed up. My sister-in-law was a state worker. She worked for the tollway. I know she would be pissed. Because she worked very hard to get the pension that she got. And she survived through a lot of different things. Now, I don't even know if they still have somebody sitting in a booth anymore because it's not now all digital. Or you can pull up and throw the money. I don't know if you can throw money or if you use your debit card. But they don't have people there anymore. Years ago, they had all kinds of people sitting in a booth. Brandon Mitchell! What's up, sweetheart? You know, Joko, I got a girlfriend who recently quit her teaching job because it's so insane. She's working for some art gallery or something in the town that she lives in because she just couldn't take it anymore. She was put into a room with a child who was hitting her, and she is at best 80 pounds soaking wet. There's not much to her. So I couldn't even imagine having a child attack you while you're sitting there trying to help them. I don't know if it was a behavior, mental situation. I don't really press her, but it was enough to make her quit. And she was so excited to become a teacher. She's like, I don't know where things changed where kids could start touching us. But it was a consistency thing. This wasn't the only child that she had to endure with this kind of abuse. And I was like, wow. And the teachers out here get paid way better than the teachers in the city. The teachers in the city are usually on strike. Well, if you ever hear anything, please keep us updated on that, Joko. Because that's just wild. Sitting there working all your life and hoping to get tenure from a specific school. And now in your retirement years, you got to worry about getting a check for the month. People are hurting right now. I mean, it's crazy. I was talking to my girlfriend the other day, and she keeps on saying how her mom keeps on saying that she wants to move and get into a new house. And I was telling her how I came across an article through my Google feed of where her mom lived. And on how a house sold for 1.5. Oops, sorry about that. Where I told my girlfriend that one of the houses in her mom's area sold for 1.57 million. And it wasn't even a mansion, it was just a single family home. So I don't know what her mom would get for her house, but I was just surprised in that area at where it wasn't a big, huge house that somebody sold their house there for that much. I can't believe houses are at $1 million in some areas. But I am happy that Brandon Mitchell stopped by. He's always busy modding other people's. Anything good out there tonight, Brandon? Anything to report? Anything going on in New York? Not a thing, huh? No problem, Boy Gage. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, not much is going on out here. It's just a normal Friday Junior. Are we at... Oh, no, I guess we're technically Friday. It's after midnight. Here, I'm looking around the corner. There's a clock right in front of my face. Aside from my phone, but my phone's not showing the time. Yeah, they really are spirit in the sky. At this rate, I may never own a home. Because the single family homes, how many towns away is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towns away. Yep, Friday already. I remember when that used to mean something. My last job, I was off for 3 days, and I worked 4. And I worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So technically Friday became my Sunday, and Tuesday became my Friday. But people were working, so nobody wanted to hang out. It sucked. Well, with the channels that Brandon follows, that's what I was asking him about New York. There's a couple of people that we mutually watch. There's this guy, Cass, and who's the other guy? I think he's Puerto Rican, Brandon. Why can I not remember his name? Not the one who stabbed dude. The dude who got stabbed. I can't remember his name. I feel horrible. Eli. Yes, Eli. Thank you, Brandon. I knew you'd remember when I started describing. Do you follow any New York channels, Spirit in the Sky? Because there are New York channels that do cop watching. Eli has been around for a while. I don't know how long Cass has been around, but I've known about Cass for probably about 4 years now. They do some wild shit on there. Cass's channel is interesting. Remember Cat Gaga, Brandon? Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. It's just wild how much things are now. I remember years ago, because I helped, really? He hasn't been around? That's surprising. He was on a lot. What was I saying? Huh. I forgot. Oh, the house market. Um, I would help with some of the things with my mother-in-law. Me and my sister-in-law were very close, and she trusted us the most when it came to financial situations and stuff. So we had to get a second loan for her building. She had a 3-flat in Cicero. And we were amazed back then, and this was like 20 something years ago, that the actual building was appraised for over $500,000. And I can't even imagine what that fucking is today. My ex sold it probably about 3-4 years ago. And this particular property has a double lot. Now, the lot where the pool is, there was no building, so the taxes for that was ridiculously low. I think it was like under 500, if I remember correctly. But again, this was like 20 years ago. And then where her building stood was way more. She had to pay something like, I think, 6,000-7,000 in property tax. So we were just floored that the house was worth 500, or the building was worth 500,000. So who knows? Maybe that could be up to $1 million now too. My ex sold at the wrong time. And again, the last time I will ever prop up a above ground pool unless I'm living there for many years. Because now somebody else is enjoying it if they haven't torn it down. There's a beautiful deck, there's a pool. But that's wild, Brandon, that you haven't heard from Cass in a year. You think he got arrested? Or is that what happened? Government subsidies, so his house is worth less. Wow. Me and my girlfriend, when we were talking, the neighbor, if you go back and watch any of my shorts, if you ever see a white house and yellow house, the yellow house, there's a family living in there. The white house, there's just this very nice old man who lives there. He's finally agreed to sell his house and move where his daughter is in Kentucky, Tennessee, one of those two states. I forgot where she said. And she was like, I'm trying to talk my husband into buying that property. And I'm like, why? You need so much done. And she's like, well, so me and my mom could maybe live there because things aren't going so great with her. But that's a whole other story and her story to tell, not mine. So I don't know if that's going to happen. But again, that house needs so much upbringing. It's ridiculous. I've only seen the living room and the kitchen because of Halloween situations where the kids went next door and he has us come inside. Very small. But a lot of those houses that are old around there, the town used to be a resort town. There's one house that's like 2 houses over from her to the left of us. That probably is one of the last houses that looks like it did when it was a resort town. If there's a bedroom in there, I'd be amazed because it's so small. But Bob's house is a little bit bigger than that. But yeah, he neglected it and didn't take care of it. And it's very dated because of the cabinetry and stuff like that. You'd have to add a whole new extension or lift like a whole new floor above the house to make it somewhat livable. Oh yeah, that's not good. I remember what it cost us to put windows in my mother-in-law's because she had the old windows where you still had to put the storm windows up and screens and all that. Yeah, it was a ridiculous amount. So I can't even imagine what cheap windows would be. She had bricks, so we never had to deal with siding. You had to deal with tuck pointing. And if memory serves me correctly, the roof on her building was not an actual roof. It was like tar. That was it. Some sort of tar sealant that went on top of it. There was no like arch and shingles and stuff on there. That sucks when you have a house that's worth less than you hear your neighbor selling like for over like 700,000. You're getting like maybe 150. It's like, okay, then where do I go? Because where am I going to find a house for that price? And I guess the trailer parks aren't much better because they're price gouging people. Because there was a point where my girlfriend took her mom to go and look at, there was this trailer park that wasn't too far from where she lived. And it didn't look like, stuff we see on the movies. It looked like a very nice trailer park community. And they were ridiculous with the fees that they were going to try and charge her. So yeah, I don't even know where you go at that point. If you get way less than what's out on the market. Even apartments have skyrocketed. My girlfriend was hoping I would like it up there and move up there. And it used to be where if you lived in a small town like that, rent was way cheaper than living in the city or whatever. It's not like that anymore. I saw a 1-bedroom over there by the grocery store that I used to go to. There wasn't very many apartment buildings mixed into the area we lived in. More by where I was working. There was a little more apartments here and there. Still not very much. And that 1-bedroom by the grocery store was going for $1,500 a month. There was a apartment that was put up for rent next door to my work with 2 bedrooms. I don't know how many baths. I've never been in there, but I've been told by some of the regulars who knew the people that it was a beautiful apartment. They got $1,800 a month for that. And that's a 2-bedroom. I was bitching when my 2-bedroom, 2 full bath was $1,200 a month. Wow. It's a nice chunk of change. I'm sorry if it came at the cost of him passing and no longer being there. I used to joke that if I ever won the lottery, the 2 things that I was going to do right off the bat, if it was obscene amount of money that I could live off of forever, was go to Barrett's and buy 2 1969 Chevelles, keep one in a climate-controlled garage and the other one drive it like I stole it. And then to go back and buy the house that I grew up in because it was also my grandparents' house. But I would move it. But seeing as I never play the lottery, that's never going to happen. Yeah, it's crazy around here. And then they want you to make 3 times the amount of what 1 month's rent is, and sometimes have astronomically high credit scores that I don't even know if I'll ever achieve. One guy wanted me to have an 800 credit score to rent out a 1600 a month apartment. Yeah, that ours are starting off at about 15 and up. And that depends on where you decide to live. If I wanted to live downtown Naperville, yeah, fuck that. Unless I live in a dorm, because there's a community, I guess it's a community college. It's a college. And if I could get into there, that would be a whole different story. But I don't know if I want to live in a dorm room. It would be an apartment. It wouldn't be an actual dorm room situation like you see in college, but... And then the other apartments are owned by companies, so yeah, they're ridiculously... The $1,200 a month, 2-bedroom, 2 full bath is now, I think, $1,900 a month, plus utilities. I don't know if everybody has to do it where you're at, but here in this area... Even if you live in an apartment, you have to pay the sewer, water, and garbage bill. It used to be included. Now they don't include it. So, that and food costs raising up. It's just getting ridiculous. You know, I'm more than likely going to probably have to find a second job just to survive. Because girls got to eat, so do my animals. Good thing that she's only 8 pounds. Her 16-pound bag lasts us a little bit, but the cat, not so much. I get 24 packs, and that lasts me maybe 2 weeks. Maybe 3. I don't remember exactly. So, I constantly have to buy wet food for her. I wish she would go to dry food, but she won't listen to me. We've had that argument, and she's won it many times, so... But yeah, the nicer apartments, Joco, in downtown Naperville are $2,000, $2,500, and yeah, just studios. And it's like, how? What, because you have a weight room downstairs or a sauna, or you're just right there by the Riverwalk? What the fuck? And you live in New York, so New York's just as crazy as Chicago, probably. They definitely don't make it easy. My first apartment was one of the hugest 1-bedroom I ever had. I was above a store, outside of the city, and I was only paying $350 a month plus my electric bill. And my cable TV bill. And I think my phone... Did I have a home phone? I forget when I... Yeah, no, I had a home phone. Because cell phones were just starting to blow up. So $350 for a 1-bedroom. outside of the city of Chicago. Now try and find that. That's just not going to fucking happen. I have some friends that are still back there and they were telling me the prices out there, and I'm like, there's no way in hell you'd get me to pay that much to live there. I miss some of the stuff there, yes, but me and my me and my ex baby daddy got into an argument because I think it was like 99. Yeah, I want to say it was like 99. Um, they built these condos for there, and he wanted to buy one. And I'm like, dude, think about that. Who in their right mind is going to buy a condo in Cicero? No one. I'm like, it's not like when we rent an apartment here and we have the luxury of getting our security deposit back and we could just freely move. We'd have to sell this. Me and him got into the biggest fight because he wanted to move into it and I didn't. And I still call that as a good choice because, yeah, I don't know anybody even now. I wish. The only way, and I still am not 100% accurate on this, are you, Yeti? If I move to the middle of nowhere here in Illinois, I'd like to think that the prices are cheap like that, but I was living in a town that was only 4,500 and it was not cheap to rent. So I don't know if that theory is gone completely out the window, but I think if I go to like some farm community downstate that nobody's ever heard of, maybe. But the closer I get to Carbondale and Springfield, prices are going to be up again because those are two major cities before you leave the state of Illinois, at the bottom of Illinois. And I don't want to do that. I had a hard enough time living 45 minutes from where I'm used to and not being able to see my friends and stuff. But it's ridiculous, the cost of living. 22,000. I think this is something like, maybe the town that I'm in is something like 30, maybe 40,000, maybe a little bit bigger. I'd be surprised if it was over. Well, no, I guess it could maybe be over 100,000. But it's definitely more than 4,500 people. That was the smallest town I think I've ever lived in all my life. Yeah, them are unheard of prices. 550. Add one before the 5, then you're talking. And the funny thing is like, it goes huge population town, and that's Downers Grove. Then there's a town in between called Lisle. I used to call that a small town. Never doing that again. And then there's Naperville, and Naperville's huge. Wow. Now, over there where my girlfriend still is, they go to the next town over for high school because the town doesn't have a high school. Town doesn't have what is it called? Park district. So there's no public pool, but there is the Fox River. Um, Everything except for elementary school and junior high are there. I don't even think a Catholic school is even in there. Their last church that they had closed in the beginning of, or end of May, I think, and merged with another church because they closed that location and it was the last church in town ever open. I got you, Joko. And I'm sorry that it's not legal there. Unfortunately, in the Bible Belt, I don't think they'll ever make it legal. Indiana refuses to make it legal. I don't know if, I don't think Wisconsin is legal either. Shit. The bar that I go into, Joko, they have THC drinks now that are like 10% or something like that. I tried one of them. It was watermelon. It was okay. I don't know. I don't think that stuff does anything for me. Because gummies don't. That doesn't stop me. I like the way Brandon thinks. Same with me. Even before it was legal. No, hemp doesn't have THC in it. And it has been used for years as like rope. It's not the same compound that gets you. If you smoked hemp, it wouldn't really do the same thing that THC does for you. I remember 2020 hit and before the lockdown or the lockdown situation happened, a friend of mine came over. They didn't smoke. And I had my shit on my end table. I had some I broke some up. I was getting ready to smoke a bowl and he's like, "Aren't you worried if a cop walks past your window and sees you smoking pot?" And I'm like, "Dude, it's legal now. They can't do shit to me. I could break out a bong and there's nothing they can do. I'm in the privacy of my own home." I know there's like stuff, I can't remember, Delta 8, stuff like that, but one of my friends who took some classes on stuff, before we even became legal, there was like some legal weed that they were selling people, and and my friend's like, "Don't ever fucking get that shit. It's like fucking smoking potpourri." He goes, "We don't even know what the consequences of smoking that can do to you." Okay, so you can smoke hemp. Okay, I guess I'm wrong. I didn't think you could smoke it. I know there's some other stuff like smoke shops that just sell glass and don't sell weed. They have like some things that are very similar to smoking weed. And yeah, I get mixed reviews. Like, I remember my cousin, her third ex-husband, fourth, I don't remember what number he was, but he used to get this fake weed. Well, I called it fake weed. I don't remember what he called it, but it was cheaper than if you got like real weed, but it gave you the same high and it was like ridiculous. It gave me a headache. I was like, no, I'm good. I'd rather stick to the real stuff. I have a vape pen, but these things make me choke like a motherfucker. Oh yeah, I gotta charge this one. K-weed. Yeah, I think it was called K-weed or something like that, Joko. Yeah, no. Even now, I'd still rather buy black market versus going into the dispensary. So my first dispensary experience happened many, many, many years ago in a wonderful place called Amsterdam. And wow, was that next fucking level. It was so crazy that it was so open, and they gave you a menu with what strains they had, and if you wanted a joint or if you just wanted a little bit to smoke at the bar, and if you had anything to smoke with. If you didn't, they had something to supply you with. It was wild. So before we became legal and they were talking about it, I was sitting there thinking, okay, it's going to be like that. So my girlfriend wanted to go to the dispensary once we became legal. She wanted to go and get some stuff from there. And I went with her. And I've gone into some shady places to go and buy weed as a dealer in the past. But I had never felt so uncomfortable buying weed in all my life because it was right across from a police station. They had, I don't know if they were specific Aurora cops, undercover DEA cops, whatever. But they were standing there with guns, and it was just so confusing. Before we even were let into the dispensary, they gave us a piece of paper, and you had to mark what you were coming to get, which meant you had to go on their website and see what you wanted first so you knew what to mark. And once you do that, that's when you walk past the guys with the guns going up a staircase, and then you're standing in line to show somebody your ID, and then you're still standing in line until the people inside the dispensary are ready to, they would only allow so many people in at a time, and you had to wait, I think it was like 4 or 5 people. You had to wait until it was your turn. And you go in there, and there was nothing out. You couldn't look at what you were buying. And they just had it ready for you, and you went to the next person to pay them. So my first experience with the dispensary was just awkward and weird. And I was like, not for me. Not to mention that in concert tickets, they're called the entertainment tax. I forget what they call it for weed. But we have like a 24% tax that gets tacked on to what we're already buying. So you may be purchasing something for $25, but you're going to probably be paying 40, maybe close to 50 if you tip the bud tender. So it's crazy. I've had people in California sit there and laugh at the prices that I get hit with if I go into a dispensary because it's way cheaper for them. And that's California. Yeah, it was fucking crazy, Eddie. The wildest experience I have ever had. And like I said, I've gone into shadier places to go and buy weed illegally. The intimidation factor was just like, what the hell? And it's messed up because, okay, so there's tax dollars. If let's say it was Aurora Police Department, either they're undercover or police officers in general. So that's taxpayer money right there. But yet, the person who owns that dispensary, the money that they're making, because at a federal level, it's still looked upon as illegal, that owner can't take their money and put it in a bank. Because all banks are federally owned. So they got to sit there with all that cash and hope and pray somebody doesn't find out where they live and rob them. I couldn't imagine. Yeah, ounces here are ridiculous. They're charging you almost $40 for an eighth. And that's before that tax gets thrown on there. Plus, if you tip your bud tender. I work in the tip industry, so I always try and tip somebody because I know if you're working for tips, you're working hard for that money. But yeah, I want to say ounces here are probably 200-300 depending on what you buy. And it is funny, even the difference between here and where I used to live, the carts. So I got a couple of them before I left because the carts up here are way more expensive. One of my carts is 2 grams, the other one's a gram. And one of them I got for like 20 something bucks. The other one I spent like it was 45 for the 2 grams, but it'll last me for a while. Those things make me choke. So I'd rather smoke the regular flower than hit on those. But I love my unicorn piss. And I got 2 grams of that bad boy. It was funny, one night we were out with Joe Cool. And Joe Cool knows I carry that with me. And he goes, let me get a hit off that vape. And I'm like, okay, enjoy unicorn piss. He just busted out laughing. He goes, excuse me? And I'm like, the name of the strain is unicorn piss. Have a good night, spirit in the sky. I don't know why people don't expect weird out of me. Weird's my middle name. I'm okay with it. I dare to be different. I was thinking about changing my hair color, but I don't know. Because then that means I have to sit there and... I probably have to do my roots anyway. But it's been so easy just sticking with one solid color, and whenever some of the color fades, all I do is add something to it and it's fine. But it is funny, I've been adding so much to the front of it that I've neglected the back, and the back looks like kind of green. So my hair, I guess, is technically 2 colors. New and faded. I'm used to being the weird one. I'm okay with it. I couldn't be like the sheeple. So I was the girl in Slayer shirts in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. While other girls were getting all dressed up and dolled up and ratting out their hair. Back then, you could have called me any name. You called me a girl, them were fighting words. But my poor mom, she always wanted to see me in dresses and stuff like that, and I just, no. Now I wear them a little more now as an adult, and I bet she's looking down going, God damn it, I had to die in order for this girl to start liking dresses. Oh my God. I caught Kerry King's last pick during the last tour, best thumb war ever I won. I told my friend Duper Trooper, when I die, that bastard goes in my casket right on my heart. It is funny. You were talking about trolls. Sometimes when I was doing lives at my other job at the bar, I'd get in trolls and they automatically go for my hair because liberals are blue-haired people with piercings and tattoos and angry at the world. And they totally take out of consideration the fact that I'm fucking punk rock. So I trigger a lot of people just with my hair color. Oh my God, 2 Live Crew. Oh my God. The parental advisory sticker was slapped all over one of their albums. You can thank Al Gore's wife for that, for starting the PMRC. It was kind of funny. She thought she'd go after metalheads because she was a deep, devoted Christian and this was Satan's music and our children shouldn't be corrupt and hear this stuff. So, in the end, she pulled Dee Snider. I can't remember who else. She just expected metalheads to just be dumb people and was very put to shame when Dee Snider went and spoke before Congress. So the mutual agreement became they had to put the parental advisory sticker on certain albums so that kids couldn't get a hold of content that they shouldn't be hearing until they were 18 years old. Yeah, there was all kinds of ways around that. We still ended it. It made us want to buy the album more. Ooh, what the fuck did they say on this? I gotta get this. So, yeah. You always had an older brother of a friend or somebody who could go into the music store and purchase it for you. If not having brothers or sisters showing us the way, if they were also metalheads. My one girlfriend, Janice, her brother, who passed away unfortunately at 18, showed us a band called MOD. Oh my God, that fucking album was hilarious. If you've never heard an MOD song, I feel sorry for you. Because I'm still not 100% sure if they were skinheads, but they had some pretty funny, fucked up music. They had a song called Don't Feed the Bears. They had a song called Captain Crunch, The Hate Tank. Oh my God, what is... No, that was Suicidal Tendencies. AIDS. That's an interesting song. Ruptured Nuptials. Song's like 2 minutes and 3 seconds, and it's just ridiculousness. They should be. You could probably look up MOD. And then there was another band at that specific time, SOD. They were good too, but they were just a hardcore metal band. MOD, I'm still confused if it was supposed to be a joke or not, because, yeah. Even wrote a song about Freddie. I think the song's called Man in Your Dreams or Man of Your Dreams. But that's how we found out about music back in the day, is an older person, be it a brother or a sister or a cousin. We would share stuff with each other. Probably should turn this down for the neighbors. So if you've never heard of them, check them out. Are You a Yeti? But yeah, you can't, I mean, I guess now, Are You Yeti's going to go and check out MOD, and there's going to be all different kinds of songs that they can listen to. But I don't know how many other people search out, like, old stuff like that. I want to say there was maybe only 2 albums. Maybe. I don't remember exactly, because that's way too far back. SOD had a few albums. But people like that, who needed Motley Crue and Cinderella and Bon Jovi and stuff like that? That was way too weak. It makes me laugh looking at Zakk Wylde now, because if you go back and look at when Zakk Wylde joined Ozzy Osbourne, oh my God, two completely different people. Completely different people. He was very skinny, had very bright blonde hair, ratted out, and looking the part for the 80s. And now he's just this big burly biker dude. It's a mind trip. But I can't believe we've been live for almost 3 hours and we even had a Rosie thing sighting. Which I'm proud of, because Rosie always says that when you do your night lives, I'm usually sleeping. But bless her little heart, I think she goes back and she watches the lives in her free time. But I appreciate all of you guys for stopping in. We'll stay live for another 15 minutes and then off to bed I go, because I've got to be to work at 9 in the morning. Yippee! But another day, another paycheck. I'm hoping. Hold on. Okay, I'll have to look at that. It's telling me my paycheck stub's available. My pay better be in there. Because I've been busting my butt. My last day took 2.5 hours in one room because it was that trashed. Still, I don't know. It's a toss-up. The crime scene room and that room were probably my two worst rooms. So we'll see what tomorrow brings, because if we have nobody checking out tomorrow, the boss said we're going to go to each floor and knock on the doors and see if anybody needs a room clean. Because like I said, there's people who stay here for over 30 days, and people like that, they don't want you in their room. They'll clean it themselves. We even have customers come downstairs to the front desk and ask if they can use the vacuum to clean the room. Because some rooms have carpeting, some are all flooring. I don't know which one I like more. Because with all the flooring, you're just sweeping and then mopping. With the carpet and the flooring, because even if they have carpet, there's flooring in the kitchenette area and in the bathroom. So you still have to mop that. So you have to do 3 things. But I'm not expecting a lot of people to want us to come in there and tidy up their room. But you never know. There might be a couple that are like, yeah, sure, no, come on in. And then we got newbies coming in, so that'll be interesting to see. Hopefully they make it past more than the last person they sent to us. Because that guy, oh, I would not have wanted to be in that room after his cleaning. He was using one rag to clean everything. You don't use the same rag that you've wiped a toilet with. On anything. On anything. That rag's dirty. You do not touch it. You throw it in your bag and you start with the new rag when you wipe off the sink or the tub. Yeah, he didn't make it far. And it's not like cleaning is very hard, But I guess if you've never been shown the appropriate way. Yeah. So he was a big fat no. And it was one of my rooms that they started on. So the girl who trained, she's like, she goes, I'm sorry. She goes, I made the bed and I vacuumed. All you'll have to do is re-wipe everything because he only used one rag. And I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. That's how germs get spread. No, thank you. I do not want to create a whole new disease that people have to suffer through. No. I bring at least a good 5 in with me. Because I have to wipe off a couple of tables. I have to wipe off a nightstand. I have to wipe off the headboard. And that's just in the bed area. And then sometimes there's a reclining chair or a regular chair that you have to wipe down at one of the tables. And it's just, yeah, you gotta switch it up a little. And then not even to mention just the bathroom and the kitchenette. Who sits there and wipes the toilet and let's go start wiping down the countertop in the kitchen and the fridge and the micro? Yeah, no. That's just a problem. Yeah, some people. What are you going to do? My boss says that she needs like 2 more of either me or the girl who trained me. She's like, if I could get girls like you guys, I wouldn't have to worry about nothing. Because the dude who cleans, we have to go behind his back because he doesn't do the greatest of jobs. Ooh, nice. Turkey jerky? And cashews are awesome, especially if they're honey roasted. I love honey roasted cashews. I love cashews. And a great snack, not too horrible, depending on how salty or sweet they are. Every once in a while, I'll get some Jack Link's, the turkey jerky, but beef. I've never tried the turkey. Roasted and salted. They're good, it's just all the salt. So some way or another, it's funny, if you eat them raw, they're like extremely healthy, but it's hard to eat them raw without a coating of either salt or honey. It's doable, but it's not as enjoyable. There's these things that I used to love having that I probably will never be able to have again. They were squash seeds, and they're covered in like a layer of salt. If you eat way too many of these, it fucks up your lips because of how much salt that's on them. They're like sunflower seeds, but think of a sunflower seed 20 times coated with salt, where you don't even see the seed. And I'm still not sure if the squash seed is an actual squash or if it's a pumpkin seed, because it's pretty big. It's not like the sunflower seeds where they're little. But jerky's a good protein, they say, for you. And if you're eating turkey, that's better than me getting the teriyaki beef ones. I have some beef sticks that I got before I moved. I still haven't opened them. I'll open up the door and go, oh yeah, I have those, and then completely forget I have them. Lately, I've been horrible with my snacking. I've been eating a lot of Captain Crunch and ice cream together. It's kind of like milk, but I gotta stop doing that. Or else I'm gonna balloon up to like 500 pounds and not be able to fit out the door. And all this eating out, I totally gotta slow down on that stuff. And plus, I'm almost a little burnt out because I've recaptured all the things that I was missing back up north. So I could always make my own hamburger. I don't necessarily have to go out for one. And homemade is sometimes a little bit better than actually going out because at least you like the taste. Some people don't season their burgers the appropriate way. They really are. If you have an Italian joint by you, are you Yeti? You could find squash seeds. It's an Italian thing. It's the only place I've ever seen squash seeds. Was at an Italian specialty store. They're amazing and addicting. But as I get older, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea for me to keep on eating those, or heart attack number 2 may come into play. And no thank you. Heart attack number 1 was not fun as it was. Ooh. There's a great German place that's down the street from where I live. I love German food. And Irish food, who doesn't love corned beef and cabbage? Some of the other stuff I could leave to the wayside, but I do enjoy a good corned beef and cabbage. When I was living up north, 2 of my customers, a husband and wife, they were from Ireland, and they both had the thick Irish accent. His wife's name was normal. His name was a little different. Not a name I don't think I've ever heard before. There were 2 people that came in that had names that I had never heard before. The other guy was just a normal white person. He told me there was an actor he was named after, but I don't even know who the actor was because it was so far back. I'm like, that's the one thing of the masses that I do is every day, or everyone's Irish on St. Paddy's Day. It's the only way I have Irish in me. And Mexican and Italian. But I have a lot of Irish friends. And man, do they love J-Mo. Well, at least you don't dig redheads. Redheads, I hear, are crazy. My guy friends tell me that. I don't know. I had a girlfriend who is pretty much 100% Irish and had the red hair. She's always nice to me. And some of the best ginger jokes I've ever heard are from people who have red hair. Hey, there's some amazing gingers in life. Josh Homme, Dave Mustaine. These are all wonderful ginger people that I love in my life. Yeah, I'm not fond of the gray joke. Oh, that's why I dye my hair blue and pink and purple. and green. I figure if I'm going gray, I may as well. I couldn't even tell you my fucking real hair color if I tried. I haven't seen it since the 80s. I know it wasn't black. It was like a dark brown. I know some people that started off as redheads and then went brunette. That's weird to me, how your hair could change from a kid to an adult. Or almost adult. Because you would figure that was already figured out. If you're born a redhead, you're born a redhead. But yeah, I don't even know what my natural hair color is anymore. I haven't seen that shit in years. I've heard of that too. I went to school with this one girl that just had, I don't know if she was, an albino or what, but she had some really blonde ass hair. And it went straight? Oh, that's funny. My younger son has nice hair that you can do something with, but he chooses to keep it close shaved because that's how dad was. So, my other son's got thick hair. It's not an afro, but it doesn't lay the same way as the younger or the older one's hair does. And it's harder to do a few things with his hair compared to his brother. Having Mexican and Italian in them. My dad had really thick hair, so I think he has the consistency of my dad's hair. Yeah, that's what my kiddo does. I mean, he goes somewhere and gets it done, but yeah, pretty close shaved with clippers. My ex did it because he was going bald, so he was just going bald in a great era of Michael Jordan years, so he just shaved his head. But he never took razors to it. It was always clippers. I think he would always use wall clippers. If I remember the term, because he tells me I'm so outdated, I think the term he uses, he goes and gets lined up. Like, whatever, dude. I haven't seen that boy's hair since he was a little kid, so. He has nice light brown hair, too. Well, kiddos, we have been live for 3 hours and 3 minutes and 4 seconds. I am going to end this because I have to get up for bed in the morning. I appreciate all you guys for coming in. Hope you enjoyed the stream, the music, the atmosphere. We will. Now that I can do nighttime lives. What the heck is going on there? There we go. Now that I can do nighttime lives, I'll do these once in a while. Sometimes I do them during the day, during the course of my work day. So you guys have a great night. Thank you for stopping by. Thanks for all the likes. And I'll see you guys around. Enjoy your search into MOD. I don't know if you'll thank me or tell me to go to hell afterwards. Some of it is not politically correct in today's times. Ruptured Nuptials definitely would not have made it during this era. I'm surprised the AIDS song made it in that era. So, yeah, have fun with that. But I'll see you guys soon. Have a good night.